right, well, let's just do this thing, Rich, me and you. I just wish I was in the comfort of my own home. Let me make sure somebody's walking into this room. No, not doing yoga. Okay. I feel strange. Go ahead and just lie down on your mat. And as you lie down, maybe you want to take a big full body stretch. So you can take your arms long, your legs long. And then eventually just let your arms come down to rest by your sides. Feet on the ground with your knees bent. Close your eyes. And just start to notice how you feel. So feel your body against the ground. Feel any physical sensations that are present for you. So how does your back feel? How do your shoulders feel? How do your hips feel? Notice any emotions that might be present for you as well. And then start to notice, if you haven't already, your breath, the rise and fall, the expansion and contraction of each inhale and each exhale. Next time you breathe in, fill up as big as you possibly can and hold at the very top in fullness. When you think you are full, see if you can even sip in a little bit more. And then big sigh out your mouth, let it go. Ah. Good, do that again, a couple more times like that. So inhale, fill up. Take a moment to pause at the top, maybe extra sip or extra couple of sips. And then big sigh, release. Ah. One last time, biggest inhale you've taken all day. Hold in fullness. Keep holding, keep holding. And eventually open your mouth and just let it go. Seal your lips now and start to drop into your ujjayi breath. So in and out through your nose by way of the back of your throat. And start to hear your breath as it flows through you. So not just feeling your breath, but also hearing it, that gentle whisper noise, that oceanic sound. So be right here, just tapping into your own internal rhythm. You can stay here as long as you would like. As you are ready, just draw both of your knees in towards your belly and start to rock gently from side to side. You can grab hold of your kneecaps, backs of thighs, fronts of shins. Take a few rocks side to side, or you might even circle your knees around, tracing the outline of your sacrum against the ground. Eventually, bring your left foot to the ground with your knee bent and extend your right leg straight up towards the ceiling. Grab hold behind your right thigh. Press up through your right heel and flex through your toes. Bend your knee as much as you need to so that your spine is neutral. It's just resting on the ground, neutral position. So bend your knee as much as you need to, but then really press up through your heel and flex your toes back towards your shin. With your arms, you're pulling in, but with your legs, you're resisting. You're pressing forward and away. Breathe all the way up the length of your right leg for a couple more rounds of breath. Imagine you're trying to squeeze through the top of your right thigh, your quad muscle. Take one more round here, one more great big inhale, let's say. And then as you exhale, figure four, supine pigeon. So outer right outer right ankle to the top of your left thigh. Figure four with your legs. And then if you want to, you can lift your left foot, grab hold behind your left thigh. And just take the little rock from side to side. Breathe down into your low back. Pull in with your arms, and again, press away with your legs. So you're stabilizing and stretching at the same time. Keep the flexion in your right toes. Take a couple more breaths. Breathe all the way down into your hips. And then release your left foot back to the ground. Extend your right leg back up towards the ceiling. Great big inhale here. And then as you exhale, bend your right knee, hands at the front of your right shin. Extend your left leg out long and bring your knee to the outside of your ribs and then up towards your armpit. Squeeze in and up. Take a great big huge belly breath. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then half happy baby with your right leg. So sole of your right foot faces the sky. Grab hold of your foot. Pull down with your arm, press up through your heel, flex your toes. Big bend in your right knee, and you're pulling your right knee down towards the ground on the outsides of your ribs. Take a couple more deep breaths right here. And then release your right leg, full body stretch. So arms long, legs long. Pull yourself apart. And as you reach, if your front ribs lift a lot, see if you can press your back ribs down even just a little bit. Take one more great big huge inhale. Exhale, arms by your sides, knees bent, feet on the ground. Extend your left leg up towards the sky and grab hold behind your left thigh. Flex your toes, press through your heel, bend your knee as much as needed so you keep your spine in a neutral position. So backs of your hips and backs of your shoulders are rooting down. Press through your heel, flex your toes. See if you can even get your little baby pinky toe to flex back. And then big spacious breaths. Imagine you can breathe up the length of your left leg. Flex your toes, press through your heels. See if you can get the front of your left thigh to turn on. Engage your quad. One more big inhale. Exhale, figure four, outer left ankle, top of your right thigh. Keep your right foot on the ground if you want, or lift your right foot up and grab hold behind your right thigh. Hug or draw in with your arms. So pulling in with your arms and then pressing away with your legs, creating that gentle resistance and also keeping a nice neutral spine. Rock it out if you want to. One more big breath. And then set your right foot on the ground again. If it's lifted, extend your left leg towards the sky again. One more big inhale here. And as you exhale, bend your left knee. Bring your hands to grab the front of your left shin. Slide your right leg out nice and long. And then left knee towards your left armpit. So out and up. Big Buddha belly breath as you squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Turn it into a half happy baby. So sole of your left foot faces the sky. Grab hold. Try to keep a neutral spine and imagine you've got an invisible sandbag on top of your right thigh. Flex your toes, press through your heel. Pull down with the strength in your arm. Couple more breaths. And then release your left foot. Take your legs long, full body stretch, arms overhead. So pull yourself in these opposite directions. Press down through your back ribs if they lift a lot. One more huge inhale, super, super long. Exhale, draw your knees in. Take a little rock from side to side. And then eventually let both of your knees fall over to the right, left arm out to the left. Gaze up or over your left shoulder and take some big deep breaths all the way down into your low belly, your low back. Soften your face and your jaw. Really focus on moving your breath all the way down the length of your torso. So especially in these twists, it's a little harder to breathe really deep. So you might put just a little extra effort behind your breath. Hear it and feel it. Couple more rounds on this side. End of your next exhale, bring your knees back up. Hug them in and find that gentle rock one more time. So rock it out, nice and easy. and then eventually legs to the left, knees to the left, right arm out to the right. And feel free to make any adjustments you need to through your hips. So this feels somewhat comfortable and pretty sustainable. You can be here for a few breaths and breathe really deep. Take your last couple rounds. And then lift your knees back up. And this time we're gonna rock and roll forward and back. So if you want, you can take a couple rocks side to side and then eventually start to rock and roll along your spine. A few times forward and back, massaging those muscles along the length of your spine. Eventually rock up, come into a seated position. So just sitting up nice and tall, whatever position feels most comfortable for you. So this is easy pose with one ankle in front of the other. Just relax your arms down. Exhale in your breath. Inhale, reach your arms out to both sides and then all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, reach your arms out to both sides as far as you can and then all the way down towards the ground. Just like that. Inhale, reach out, around, and up. Spin your pinky fingers in to face one another. And then exhale, reach out, around, and down. Your palms are pressing down as you bring your arms down by your sides. Continue that with your own breath. A few more rounds, just connecting breath to movement. See if you can keep your torso nice and still and your spine nice and long as you move through just a simple back and forth. Next time you inhale, reach your arms up and then stay there, hold there. Turn to your right side, bring your right hand down behind you, left hand to the outside of your right knee or thigh. Twist, gaze back over your right shoulder. Breathe all the way down into your belly. You can use your hands as gentle leverage. If you're sitting up on top of a prop, you might press your right hand into your low back instead of bringing it down to the ground. So you choose what works best for you. Take one more deep breath. End of your exhale, let it go. Back to center, reach up high, grow tall, and then twist to the other side. So I don't care which way you went first, just as long as you get both sides. Gaze back over your back shoulder, broaden through both of your shoulders, through your collarbones, and breathe down into your belly. Soft through your face. End of your next exhale, slowly unwind back to center, arms reach up, and then exhale out and down. Come forward to hands and knees, tabletop position. And from tabletop, we're going to move right into thread the needle. So knees about hips width distance apart or just a little bit wider. Take your right arm out all the way up. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, thread your right arm through. So reach, 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 come down to rest outside of your shoulder, outside of your head. Breathe deeply here. See if you can feel your breath a lot in your back body. So upper back, mid back, all the way down into your low back. Soft through your face. Soft through the inside of your mouth. Any way you want to explore this pose, feel free. Last couple of rounds. If you happen to have your left hand or left knee lifted, bring them both back to the ground. Next, inhale, unthread your right arm, reach it all the way up, open up, gaze up, and then exhale, right hand comes down. Take about 3 big clockwise circles with your hips all the way around. As big as you possibly can, feeling into any tight or stiff spaces, moving with your breath. And then let's slowly find our way back to neutral spine. Knees, hips width distance or a little bit wider. Left arm out to the left all the way up. Breathe in here. And then exhale, thread it through. Come down to rest outside of your shoulder and head gently. Breathe. Work this pose however you want to. So same thing you did on the other side or something completely different. Totally up to you. And just notice whatever there is to notice. Feel whatever there is to feel in your own body. Breath by breath, moment by moment. Last couple of rounds on this side. If you do have your right hand or right knee lifted, set them back down. Next inhalation, unthread your left arm. Reach it up, open up, gaze up. And then left hand comes down. About 3 counterclockwise circles with your hips now. So all the way around. If you feel places that feel especially tight, you want to stay and kind of work back and forth, that's fine. And then slowly find your way back to neutral. Find your way back to downward facing dog. Take a moment to really stretch into your down dog, pedal out your heels, walk out your dog. Feel into all the length in your spine, length from your fingertips up to your sit bones. Feel into the strength of your shoulders, your connection to your center, to your core. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, look to the top of your mat, and however you want to get there, forward fold. From your forward fold, we're just going to take some spinal roll-ups and spinal roll-downs. So feet at least hips width distance apart. Make sure all of your toes face forward, and then slowly roll up, just really, really slowly, one vertebra at a time. And then once your spine stacks, your head stacks over your spine, you might even roll your shoulders. Eventually, tuck your chin back in, roll your shoulders forward, and roll back down. So however you want to move through this back and forth at your own time and pace, just plugging your breath in intentionally, however it works best for you. Imagine there's an invisible wall right behind you, and you don't want to touch your butt to that wall. So try not to lean back in your heels, but rather keep your weight forward as you roll up and down through your spine. Slow, intentional movement. Take one more round or finish the round you're on and end up in a forward fold. No rush. Eventually, just hang out in your forward fold, find your breath. Inhale to a halfway lift position. Stick your butt out, reach the top of your head forward. Exhale, fold. Now listen, keep your right foot where it's at and step your left foot back. Low lunge. Bring your back knee down gently. We're going to take half splits. So back toes tucked under, and you can either bring your hips all the way to your back heel, like I'm doing now, or if you prefer, you can keep your hips a little higher, maybe scoot your front foot forward a bit. So your hips are more stacked over your back knee. Whichever variation you take, see if you can flex through your right toes, press down through your right heel, and imagine you're trying to pull your right heel back and stick your right butt cheek out behind you as much as you can. Reach your heart as far forward as you can. You can either gaze forward, that kind of has an energy of lengthening, or you can work into your fold, forehead towards your shin, nose towards your knee, navel towards your spine. Take about 2 or 3 more breaths here. Flex your right toes, press down, and pull back energetically through your right heel. Good work. End of your next exhale, come forward. So you're in a low lunge position. Back knee can stay on the ground, or you can tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up. We're going to twist right arm to the sky. So revolve lunge, twisting from your center, ringing out through your spine. Take one more great big breath here. And then end of your exhale, let it go. Walk your hands to the left long edge of your mat. Parallel your feet, straighten out your legs. Halfway lift, inhale. And then exhale to fold and bow. You might grab your ankles, outer edges of your feet, peace fingers around big toes, anywhere you want to go for a few deep breaths. So just hanging out, breathing, feeling. You can move as much as you want to or be as still as you would like. Good job. One last round. Huge breath. You can exhale out your mouth if you want to. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips down, bend your knees if you need to, and then crawl your hands forward, rotate your toes forward, you're in low lunge, step your front foot back, you're in plank, or come down to your knees for modified plank. Inhale, push the ground away, exhale to slowly lower. Let's take 3 Spider-Man cobras. Hands out wide up on your fingertips, elbows face up, lift your heart, breathe in. Little tone in your belly, navel to spine connection. Exhale, release. 2 more like that. Inhale, lift. And let it go. Exhale. Last one. Inhale, lift your heart. Press through pelvis and shoelaces. Exhale, let it go. Child's pose. Sit back and rest for just a moment. Hips to your heels, forehead to your mat. So just taking it nice and easy today, nothing too crazy, but use a lot of awareness and a lot of deep breaths to get as much as you can out of each posture. So even the most basic movements, if you really tune in, there is so much to notice and so many ways to explore. Take one more round in child's pose. Open your mouth and sigh it out if you want to. Downward facing dog. Ujjayi breath. Take a great big inhale. Exhale, look to the top of your space. Step or hop forward, fold. Once you've arrived, lift halfway, lengthen. Exhale, bow. Keep your left foot where it's at. Step your right foot back, low lunge. Back knee comes down gently, and then half split. So either hips all the way back to rest on your back heel, toes tucked under, or your hips can stack over your back knee. Move your front foot forward a little bit. Flex through your left toes, press down, and pull back with your left heel energetically. So like you're trying to stick your left butt cheek way out behind you. Heart reaches forward. You can look forward if that's helpful for lengthening. Or you can bow, forehead towards shin, nose toward knee. Big intentional breaths. Flex your toes. Press down through your heel and pull back. Imagine you're trying to lengthen through your low spine a lot. About 3 more breaths, working your pose. Softening around your hard edges. Flex your toes, even your little baby pinky toe. All right, end of your next exhalation, all the way to empty, and then slowly find your way back to a low lunge position. So any adjustments you need to make. Back knee can stay on the ground if you want. Otherwise, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, left arm to the sky, twist, revolve lunge. So reach up, open up through the right side of your heart. Keep your legs strong, hug in with your inner thighs. Twist from your center. One more huge inhale. Stay for your exhale and twist just a little further. End of your exhalation, let it go. Wide-legged straddle, wide-legged forward fold, hands to the right long edge of your mat. Parallel your feet, straighten your legs. Lift halfway on an in-breath. And then exhale, either fold or explore on your own, wherever you'd like to take it. Last couple breaths. Try not to lean back into your heels, but lean forward more in the balls of your feet and your toes. Next time you inhale, lift halfway, fingertips down, bend your knees as much as you need to. Walk your hands forward, rotate your toes forward, low lunge. Step your front foot back, plank, or bring your knees down for modified plank. Inhale, push the ground away. Exhale, slowly lower. Let's take Sphinx pose. So forearms out in front of your body. Your elbows are straight down from your shoulders. Forearms are parallel. Press down through your forearms, spread your fingers, and press down through your fingertips if you can. As you breathe into this pose, rather than just sinking into your low back and letting your belly just plop on the ground, draw your belly button in and up and feel that length in your low back as your tailbone reaches down towards your heels. With your arms, press down and pull back like you're trying to drag your heart further forward. Breathe. One more big inhale. Press down, pull back with your arms, tone your belly. And exhale, let your elbows come out to the sides, lower down. Bring your hands to frame your mid ribs, and then lift up to baby cobra. So hovering your chest. Squeeze shoulder blades towards your spine, point your elbow tips straight back, press your belly or press your pelvis down, your shoelaces down, and draw your belly button in and up. One more inhale here. Feel the strength in your back body. Exhale, let it go. Press up and back, child's pose. And just rest in your child's pose. Arms can reach forward, or if you would rather, arms can reach back. You might even grab your heels. Take 2 more deep breaths. Rise up, downward facing dog. From your down dog, inhale your right leg high. Open up your hip, bend your knee. So feel the opening in the front of your right hip for a moment. And then whenever you're ready, come into pigeon pose, right? Shin to the top of your space, set your body down gently. So hug in towards midline, front hip pulls back, back hip pulls forward. So you're building a structure. Keep pulling your right hip back as you take your heart forward and down. If you would rather take this in a seat or come back to supine pigeon, the one we took earlier, figure 4 with your legs, that's totally fine. Big deep breath. Soften your face, unclench your jaw. Send your breath down into your low back and your low belly, down into your hips and your pelvic bowl. Just notice whatever there is to notice, even if it's discomfort. Be with that. Breathe into that. Take about 3 more breaths in your pigeon pose. End of your next exhale, begin to lift your upper body. We're going to come into a seat. So nice and easy. Let your hips open. Sit over onto your right butt cheek. Your back leg can bend a lot and just swing your back leg around. So all or both, all 10 of your toes and both of your legs are out in front of you. You can give them a little shake out. And then after a few shakes, feet on the ground with knees bent, feet mat width distance apart. You can have your heels really close to your butt or further away, and you can play with that. Roll your shoulders back and down, lift your heart up, breathe in. And then as you exhale, both knees as far over to the right as possible. Gaze to your left and maybe kind of turn your shoulders to your left. Inhale back through center. And exhale, other side, especially work your top knee forward and down. Gaze to your right, turn your shoulders a little to the right, back and forth a few more times. With your own breath at your own pace, slow and mindful movement. Come back to center. All right, so keep your legs in this position, and you're going to bring your right hand to grab either the outside of your left foot. So I'm lifting my left toes, grabbing the outside of my foot, outside of my ankle, or if that's too much, it's the outside of my calf or shin. My left hand's just behind me. My arm is inside my leg, so I'm going to let my knee come out a little bit wider, and then I'm using the leverage of my hand pulling on my foot or my leg. And I'm going to curl in like I'm doing a cat pose with my spine. So chin to chest, belly button draws back. And as I pull on my left leg or left foot, I should feel a stretch in the back of my right ribs. Breathe into the back of your right rib cage. I know this is a little bit funky and we're going to switch sides. So now left hand grabs the outside of your right foot. Your arm is inside your knee. If grabbing your foot is too much, ankle or shin is fine. Right hand behind you or just fingertips. And then curl in round your spine. As you curl in, pull against your leg with your hand. Use that as leverage. Work into that stretch in the left side of your back body, the left side of your back ribs. Breathe into that space. Good. And then lift up. Cross your ankles, come forward to hands and knees. Take a couple of cat-cows or a couple of hip circles or just a little bit of intuitive movement. And then when you're ready, back to downward facing dog. If you want to move through a vinyasa on your own, feel free. Big, deep breaths in your down dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Open up your left hip, bend your knee. Get that nice opening through the front of your left hip. Keep rooting through your hands, lifting from your center. Whenever you are ready from here, we're going to move into pigeon pose. So in your own time, left shin forward and gently set your body down. Left knee towards the outer left edge of your mat. Pull your front hip back hip forward. So structure, strength, stability first. Keep pulling your left hip back as you take your heart forward and bow. If you want to go deeper, scoot your back knee back further. Stay active, like you're trying to spread through your front toes. And then big, spacious breaths. Soft face, soft jaw, forehead. Take about 3 more rounds, big spacious breaths. Slowly begin to lift your upper body, coming again into a seat, nice and easy. Sit over onto your left butt cheek, let your back knee bend, swing your back leg around, both legs out in front of you, give them that nice little shake out. And then when you're ready, take your windshield wipers again. So feet nice and wide, heart lifted side to side with your breath. And then come back to center, back to neutral. Bring your feet hips width distance apart, ankles straight down from your knees, all of your toes face forward. Spin your hands so that your fingers face towards your hips or out to the sides of your mat, your choice. Roll your shoulders back and down, puff up through your chest. You can stay here if you want, or press into your feet, press into your hands, lift your hips, reverse tabletop. Hug in with your inner thighs, lift your hips high. You might take your head back, but just try not to collapse and drop it back. Strengthen the sides of your neck. Press into your thumbs and index fingers, hug in with your inner thighs, press down into your heels and the inner edges of your feet. One more inhale, lift, and let it go all the way down onto your back. Hug your knees in, gently rock from side to side. Set up now for some flowing bridges. So just like we set up for that reverse tabletop, feet hips width distance, ankles straight down from knees, toes face directly forward, arms down by your sides. As you exhale, pull your belly button down, scoop your tailbone up, and as you inhale, peel your spine off your mat. At the same time, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, up towards the sky, and then all the way back overhead at the top of your bridge. Exhale, slowly roll down, and at the same time, reach your arms up towards the sky and return them all the way back down by your sides. Bottom of your exhale, bottom of your bridge. Back and forth a few more rounds. Make this a moving meditation, lots of awareness. Try not to rush through this. Slow and lots of intentional movement and lots of awareness. Really working the undulation, that wave-like motion in your spine. Really just feeling into each little individual vertebra. Using your breath. Take a couple more just like this. Finish the round you are on, or take one more round. And then once you are back in a neutral spine position, so your spine's back on the ground, windshield wipers laying down. So take your arms out wide, tee them out. Take your feet out wide, mat width distance, side to side with your knees, slowly and intentionally. So not just plopping them from side to side mindlessly, but moving really slowly, feeling a lot. So think about if you're driving a car 100 miles per hour and you look out your window, it's hard to really see things very clearly or make anything out in particular. But if you go slow, if you go 20 miles per hour, you look out your window, you can see everything. You can see every tree, you can read every sign, you can see people walking, animals, depending where you're at. Think of this the same way. The slower you go, the more there is to notice. Eventually come back to center, no rush, and find a full happy baby pose. Once you're in full happy baby, you might kind of rock it out side to side. You might extend one leg and then the other, even both at the same time. So take any little bits and pieces of movement that you'd like in your happy baby. And then if there are any other poses, stretches, movements that you want to take to complete your practice for yourself, feel free. And then as you're ready, just slowly start transitioning into your Shavasana, into your final relaxation. My reading for you today, as you slowly start to settle in, this is called Be Gloriously Unresolved. You will never reach a point in your life where everything is solved, all neatly tied up in a bow. That's the point. There is no final scene, only the ongoing adventure movie, forever unresolved. You learn to love the mess of your life, its constantly changing nature, its unpredictability. And you stand as the immutable silence in the midst of the storm, the wide open space in which joy and pain, ecstasy and agony, boredom and bliss can arise and subside like waves in the ocean. There are no problems when you know yourself as the space for it all. That's Jeff Foster. So for these last few moments, just feel into yourself as that wide open space. Nothing to fix or change or control, nowhere to arrive, nothing to resolve, but just letting yourself rest and letting whatever's present flow through you. And I am ending just a little bit early today, Rich, since it's just me and you. Take as much time as you want in your Shavasana. So there's 10 minutes pretty much to the hour. If you want to be in Shavasana for 10 minutes, take a little miniature nap, go for it. You can bring yourself out whenever you're ready and close your practice for yourself in a way that resonates for you. Thanks for joining me. So I'm not all alone. Have a wonderful day and we'll see you. I'll have a sub next week, but she's awesome. So see you when I return from Thailand. Namaste.